Good morning. I'm Assistant Sheriff Dory Korn at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I oversee our Homeland Security and Investigative Services Division. With me today is Special Agent in Charge Spencer Evans with the Las Vegas FBI Field Office and Assistant Chief Jennifer Wyatt with the Clark County Fire Department. We're here today to discuss an incident that happened early this morning near the 6200 block of Badura Avenue. At approximately 2:45 a.m., we received several 911 calls about a fire at a Tesla collision and sales center. One caller stated they heard gunshots and that there was a subject wearing black clothing setting multiple Tesla vehicles on fire. Upon arrival, officers discovered several vehicles on fire, as well as the word resist. Our partners from the Clark County Fire Department quickly put out the fires, and together with our K-9 and Armor Task Force, which is responsible for hazmat response, we're able to make the scene secure and safe. You'll see in this drone footage here, this is one of our deployments of our drones, just providing an aerial footage of the scene and some of the damage caused, to include the spray paint on the doors. We are still very early into the investigative process, and the details may change as we come across more information, so I ask you to please bear with us as we continue that investigation. As of now, I can tell you that we believe the suspect approached the business wearing all black clothing, and he used what appear to be Molotov cocktails and a firearm to conduct his attack. At least 5 Tesla vehicles were damaged, to include 2 of which were engulfed in flames. As I mentioned earlier, we're still in the process of collecting evidence, but it appears the suspect fired at least 3 rounds into different Tesla vehicles, so we do believe a firearm was used. I'm going to take a brief moment and just show you another video here. As you can see that the suspect, it's a little grainy. We're still in the process of collecting additional footage, but you'll see a Tesla vehicle catch fire momentarily. You'll see the suspect pop up right next to the Tesla vehicle. That individual then appears to be reaching into some kind of bag or backpack, and then he'll walk back and forth from that vehicle that's already on fire to another vehicle. The loud bang that you just heard, we believe, was a gunshot that was fired into one of the Tesla vehicles. In a longer version of the clip, there are 2 gunshots in addition to that are heard. Also point out that we have recovered at least 1 unignited Molotov cocktail located in Tesla vehicles, and we're working collectively with our partners to test that material and process that as evidence. Just to kind of wrap up a little bit on my part here, I'd like to point out this was a targeted attack against a Tesla facility. We do believe that it is isolated at this time. We do not believe that there's any further threat to the general public. However, as a precaution, like we do on many of these types of incidents, we've increased our police presence, in particular at Tesla locations or any Tesla-related locations in the Valley. We've also enacted our major case protocol, which brings together a tremendous amount of resources to conduct a 24/7 investigation and try to bring accountability to the person or persons responsible as quickly as possible. It's important for the public to hear this, which is if you have any video related to this incident or any tips regarding the suspect involved or anyone involved, please call our See Something, Say Something hotline at 702-828-7777. That phone line is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'll just wrap up by pointing out something that's important. It's a thank you to the personnel that are out there working since early this morning, and we'll be working around the clock, chasing down every single lead. I'm very confident we have one of the best counterterrorism units in the country. And on that note, I think we have one of, if not the best, partnership with the FBI here in Las Vegas. Big thanks to Special Agent in Charge Spencer Evans, who will be speaking here momentarily, but he took the initiative just a couple years ago to station FBI personnel here at the Fusion Center, more than we've ever had before, and to strengthen the partnership more than it's ever been, just like we have personnel over at the FBI office. And because of that, we work hand in hand on all these types of investigations, and it usually produces results pretty quickly. So with that, I'll pass it on to Special Agent in Charge Spencer Evans.
Good morning. My name is Spencer Evans. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Las Vegas Division. As you know, and as you heard this morning, the FBI has opened an investigation into what was reported as initially as an arson at a Tesla facility that occurred at the Tesla Collision Center in Las Vegas. As Assistant Sheriff Korn noted, the FBI is working hand in glove with our partners at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department to investigate this incident. This is being investigated by the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. We are working tirelessly to gather all the facts. Our agents have been on scene since early this morning. I would note this is where the Joint Terrorism Task Force really stands out, because you're bringing the collective resources together of all the departments that contribute to that task force environment. On the FBI side, that includes special agent bomb technicians, weapons of mass destruction technicians, special agents who are conducting interviews, technical specialists who are conducting analysis, and everything else that we might need to collectively bring this investigation to a successful resolution. One thing that I wanted to highlight and make crystal clear, especially in light of reporting that's been ongoing around the country about similar incidents, targeted attacks at Tesla facilities, is that violent acts like this are unacceptable regardless of where they occur. And specifically to those who might think that something like this is justifiable or potentially even admirable, we want to let you know it's a federal crime. We will come after you, we will find you, and prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. I encourage anyone that's considering something like this to seriously reconsider. We'd like to remind, as Assistant Sheriff Corrin said, anyone in the public that has information about this attack this morning or any other incidents around the country, you can contact the Fusion Center Watch here at Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, or you can also contact the FBI nationwide, which is 1-800-CALL-FBI, or you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. I'll now turn some time over to Assistant Fire Chief Jennifer Wyatt from the Clark County Fire Department.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Wyatt. I'm a Deputy Fire Chief with Clark County Fire. At approximately 2:44 this morning, our Combined Communications Center received multiple calls for a car fire. Our protocol for this is a single unit response, which Engine 21 went en route. After realizing the address and the location, they added another engine for water supply issues. 2 engines responded. The first arriving engine arrived at 2:54 and successfully extinguished both car fires. Vehicles before anything extended to any other vehicles or the business itself. The fire was contained to the 2 vehicles. There was a total of 5 vehicles damaged due to just exposures from the flames. We were able to extinguish both of these fires before it got to the battery compartment, which is critical in extinguishing any vehicle fires. Currently on scene, we have our Fire Investigation Division, including our ATF K-9, which was requested by Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Armor Division. We will continue to support the investigation and provide any critical updates to you guys and to Metro. Thank you.
With that, we'd like to open it up to some questions. Just again, I'll just remind everybody, we are early into the investigative process, so there's only some information that we have. Yes?
There was also a fire at a Tesla site in Kansas City this morning. Do we know if the incident here in Las Vegas is connected to the one in Kansas City?
We're still early into the investigative process. In terms of the national efforts, I'll turn it over to Special Agent in Charge Spencer Evans.
So the question is about reports of other attacks at Tesla facilities, specifically in Kansas City, but there's also been reports elsewhere in the country. Again, too early into the investigation at this point to conclusively determine if they're connected, but that remains an active part of the investigation, is determining if there are any links among any of the attacks that we've seen. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I know people who own Teslas might be on guard with these sort of incidents. Do you know how many incidents against Teslas there have been across the nation that you're investigating, the FBI that is, and any message for Tesla owners or parking their Teslas here in Las Vegas?
So the question is, the second part first, any messages for Tesla owners, and then the first part is, am I aware of the number of incidents around the country? So in terms of the number of incidents, I don't have a number off the top of my head for you. I do know there's been reports of attacks in multiple states, ranging for everything from graffiti and vandalism to actual targeted attacks where people are, using firearms, firebombing, a vehicle, arson. It runs the gamut. I guess the message is for people to be vigilant, but not fearful. We want them to contact law enforcement if anything seems suspicious, and we're committed to collectively work together to mitigate the threat in any way that we can.
On that topic, sorry, following up with the Teslas, a lot of them do record video. Is there any work being done to retrieve video from those cars that might have recorded this suspect?
So I'll defer to Assistant Sheriff Corrin on that. I do know 1st of January, everybody here in Las Vegas knows we had another prominent incident with a cyber truck, and video was a key component of that. And so we will leave no investigative stone unturned collectively to be able to solve this particular crime.
Do we know if these cars were actually owned by people, because this was at a service center, and have the owners have you gotten in touch with those owners?
So first, before I get to that question, just to wrap up on the question in terms of the video recovery on different Teslas, we are in the process. Teslas that were in Sentinel mode, that video record is being retrieved, and we are working hand in hand with Tesla company to be able to retrieve that video. We also have a lot of community partners that are providing video, including cell phone footage video, as you saw in some of the examples, as well as from businesses. To answer your question, I'm sorry, repeat it one more time so I answer it correctly.
Service center, so the Teslas that were damaged, have you been in contact with those owners, or were they for sale? What was the deal with that?
So contact with the owners is part of the process, but it's still too early. This just happened, a few hours ago, early in the morning. We will follow up shortly and figure out who actually owns each vehicle that was damaged and follow up with them personally.
With the cyber fleet coming to Metro, are there any safety concerns with that? And then the second part to the question is, have you seen any increase in Tesla vandalism in general in the Valley?
So the first question is that with our Tesla cyber fleet that's coming into the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, are there any concerns in terms of the safety of that fleet or anything related to that? And to answer that question, no, there's not. We were confident that we have a fantastic police department, a very effective police partnership, and a counterterrorism unit, as I mentioned earlier, between us and the FBI, and a tremendous partnership with our fire partners as well. We definitely do not let criminals or any potential bad actors dictate how we operate and what we do in our community. The advancement of technologies and the opportunity to bring the Tesla Cybertrucks here to our police force is only going to make crime fighting more effective. It's going to continue to advance the sheriff's goal, which is to make the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department the most technologically advanced police department in the country. So we are moving full force with that, and we should have them out pretty quickly here as well. And I'm sorry, you had a second question?
Yeah, have you seen an increase in Tesla vandalism in general in the Valley?
In the Valley right now, we do not have anything notable to report on that.
There's discussion about the Joint Terrorism Task Force working on this. Is this being investigated as an act of terror?
So I'll turn it over to the FBI Special Agent since it's a question about the Joint Terrorism Task Force.
So the question is this being investigated as an act of terrorism? The investigation is still in its infancy, but the investigative arm that is looking into this is the Joint Terrorism Task Force, so that we can get to the bottom of that question itself. Was this terrorism? Was it something else? It certainly has some of the hallmarks that we might think, the writing on the wall, potential, political agenda, there's an act of violence. So none of those factors are lost on us. And so we are taking the full, brunt of all the FBI resources we have available with Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department to make sure that we have an understanding of who did this and why.
To confirm, do you believe this is politically motivated, and are you worried that this is becoming the norm?
So the question is, do we believe it's politically motivated, and are we worried that it's becoming the norm? The second part first. There has certainly nationwide been an uptick in folks who feel empowered to commit acts of violence, in this case, against Tesla facilities and vehicles and their owners for some particular reason that might be their political bias. That is absolutely unacceptable. In terms of how we're investigating, again, this particular case, it falls under the purview of the Joint Terrorism Task Force so that we can bring every resource that we have to bear and get to the bottom of what happened and why.
And also, Elon Musk has posted on X now twice. He called it terrorism and said this level of violence is insane and deeply wrong. Are you in touch with him or people within his company about this?
So I'll defer to, again, early in the investigation, can't provide a lot of details in terms of who we're contacting, but we're absolutely in contact with those who are helping provide records and evidence so that we can get to the bottom of what happened. That will include Tesla.
Do you believe only one person was involved, and has that person been caught?
So still too early in the investigation to describe how many people are involved. I'll defer to Assistant Sheriff Korn if you have any other details on that.
So right now, we know for sure there's one individual. You saw them on camera, but in these investigations, we do not exclude the possibility that there could be someone assisting them or another individual as well involved as well. So we're still in the process of figuring that out before we determine whether it was a solo person.
Have they been
Right now, no. The suspect is outstanding, which is why I'll reiterate that the 2 hotline numbers that we provided, one for the Fusion Center, 702-828-7777. If people have any tips or information, please provide that. And then I will just say that we do have an incredible team working around the clock, so we're very confident that the individual will be caught. We take one more question, then we have to wrap it up and get back to the scene.
I'd like to know if the sheriff or the FBI has been in touch with President Trump. This is Kyle Payne from KSNV. If anybody has been in touch with the president with regard to this, and if there's any further comment on the political speech involved here.
So at least for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, at this time, I'm not aware of anyone who's spoken directly to the President of the United States on this incident. I can tell you that we are sharing information with all of our federal partners, and at this point, the Special Agent in charge, Spencer Evans, pointed this out. We're not ignoring the fact that there are clear factors that this could be politically motivated. We are going to investigate all aspects of this and not leave any stone unturned and not leave any possibility or theory on motive untouched. So at the end of the day, we are exploring all options at this moment.
Any reward money?
As of now, I'm not aware of any reward money, but with that, I'm sorry, folks, we do have to get back to the investigation. We'll have an update to you as soon as we have more information. Thank you.